Perfect. So first, let's look at the agenda we have for today. This is the things we're going to be looking at in this meeting. So first, we're going to do a brief introduction to Canvas LMS, basically showing you how the platform is structured in a more in a broad way. And then we're going to go into more details. So we're going to explain how to copy contents, which is something that many times instructors want to know how to do. It's fairly simple. We'll show you how to do that. And then we're going to go into more detail into the actual course navigation. So usually a course has different sections, and we're going to explain what you can find, what you will find in each one of these sections and how you can change a couple of things. We're not going to go into a lot of depth, into a lot of detail, but just the basic things you need to learn. And then we're going to tell you about some workshops that we're going to be offering in the next couple of weeks and months, and those are going to be more specific, so you can always sign up for those. Then finally, we're going to go to explain what Locker is, and also how you can set up your Zoom account. And finally, we're going to have questions and answers. So this is going to take like an hour. We'll try to do it clear, but also fast, so we have time to do all the questions and answers at the end of the meeting. And also, we're going to be doing a survey at some point of the meeting, probably before the Q&A. So we will really appreciate if you can help us with that. It's a very short survey. I think it takes like 2 minutes to complete. So we'll send you the link at some point. Perfect. So let's start with looking at Canvas, how we can access Canvas, and what are the main features of the global navigation. So I'm going to go to Canvas now in 1 second. Perfect. So the way we access Canvas is, of course, we just go to the URL canvas.ubc.ca. And I would imagine you already have been there, so no need to explain that in much detail. Of course, you log in using your CWL. So usually when we log in into Canvas, this is what we find. We find the Canvas platform. So right now I'm going to explain the global navigation. By that, I mean this bar that is on the left, where you see account and admin and all of that. And then we will explain that in more detail in a course. So the navigation of a course. So this is fairly simple to understand, fairly easy to get around with. So of course, you won't see like an admin button here. This is just in my case because we work here at ETS and we do some admin work. But I'm going to explain the most essential ones. So of course, we have the account. So if you go to account, I would suggest changing a couple of things here so you get prepared your Canvas account. So one thing, for example, you can go to profile. And in profile, you can update, you can upload a picture, you can put your contact, your bio, and links if you have some. And we recommend doing that because it's very likely that students will check out your account, and it will be nice if they can have some information about you. So to edit this, you just go here to the page, and then you click on this edit profile button. And then you can just change the upload a picture and put some information there. Then the other one, as you can see, we have some subsections inside of this account section. So another one that I would recommend exploring and tweaking is settings. In the settings, you can change you can select your pronouns, also your default email. Probably those two are the most important. So where is the edit button here? Let me see. There we go, yeah. Okay, so if you click on edit settings, it's the same thing. You can just go in and change the pronouns. Also, you can change the address because if you have noticed, Canvas will send you notifications. So maybe they're being sent to another email, or maybe you have a preferred email. So you can go and change that there. Okay, and then you can, some changes of time zone, but most likely you don't want to change that. So you can leave that as it is. Then the other one that I would recommend using, tweaking, is notifications. So if we go to the notification settings page, you'll see here that we have, well, in my case, I have 2 email accounts. Maybe you just have 1. But here you can select what notifications you will be getting. So by default, as you can see, I have disenabled many of them because I don't want to get like a lot of emails. But by default, you'll find that some of them are activated. So this really depends on you, what kind of things you want to be notified about. And maybe this is something that you can tweak around as you engage with your courses. You know, maybe you'll see that, yes, the things I'm getting are interesting, it's not overwhelming, or maybe you'll see that you're getting too much stuff and you want to change that. So the place to change that is there. Now, one thing that I should mention, because usually there's some confusion with this is not what the students will get notified about. So here we're not saying that students will get the announcements. That really depends on the student. So the student, he'll have to do the same thing. He or she will have to go into this page in their profile and then change the settings. Okay, but by default, usually they will receive the course announcements and all the things you usually want to reach them with. All right, so that's all for the account. Now let's go into the dashboard. This is another important one. So in the dashboard, which is usually what you find as soon as you log into Canvas, is something like this. So you'll see some announcements. These are announcements that we usually make each term. So it's a little box with some things that you might find interesting and helpful. And then there is the actual dashboard. So the dashboard is showing all the courses that you are a part of, even if you're a student or if you're teaching. So as you can see, I see here some published courses and some unpublished courses. If I was an instructor, maybe the unpublished courses are courses that I'm working on, but I haven't published yet. Now, in my case, you can see I have a lot of courses, so it can be a little bit overwhelming if I have many of them. Maybe if you have a couple, that's fine. But something that we usually get asked to a lot is, how can we change this? How can we arrange the courses that I see on the dashboard? So the way to do that, you go to courses. So in the same navigation bar, so now we're going to move from dashboard to courses. And here you're going to see all the courses. Oh, actually, sorry. You'll see some of the courses. And if you want to see them all, you click on all courses. Now, as you can see here, I have a list with all of the courses that I'm a part of. In my case, it's a lot because I'm engaged in many of them as I'm working and doing some stuff here at ETS. You will probably see less. But sometimes you will see courses that you taught maybe like the previous semester is still showing up. So how do we make, how do we choose what courses will appear in the dashboard and make that more efficient for us? It's very simple. You just go here, and if you start a course, the start course will appear in the dashboard. Okay, so let's say that I just want to see these two courses in the dashboard. All I have to do is just start these two and then remove the stars of the other courses. Okay, and that will do it. So as simple as that. So that's the way you can organize yourself, how you can organize your courses. Perfect. Then we have the other section that I want to mention here is the inbox. So the inbox is just like a message interface within Canvas. So here you can send, it's not a live, so it's not a live chat, it's more like an email inside of Canvas. So something that you can go here is, go into the interface and you can create a message. And then here you'll be able to select the course. So let's say you want to send a message to all of your students in a specific course. You would go here, you would select that course. Let's say in my case, I pick this one. Let me see. Maybe this one. And now I could choose to select the teachers in the course if I was co-teaching it, but I can also choose a section if I had multiple sections, or I can choose the students or all the students. Okay, perfect. So that's it for the global navigation. We'll go into more detail now into the actual navigation of a course. But before that, Marika is going to show us how do we copy content from a course to a new shell.
Thank you, Eduardo. So now I'm going to share my screen. the wrong one. Okay, so after knowing the navigation menu on Canvas, now we will talk about how we can get started with building our course on Canvas. So most likely, when you have a new course, this is what you're going to be having. It's an empty shell, so there's nothing on the shell. So what we can do is, if you have, we also offer some starters, course starters. So it would be something that has a homepage with a banner and some information that you can change. And so what we can do is we can actually import this starter into the empty shell so that you can start with starter instead of starting from scratch. So what we can do is, so we go to the empty shell. We will go to import existing content on the right column. Click on that. And then under content type, we will select copy a Canvas course. There we will type the course name that we would want to copy over. So for this case would be the ETS course starter. So click on this course. So you have the options to copy all content or specific content. But for this demonstration, I will just copy everything. And there's also actually the option to adjust event dates or due dates, which will be helpful if you had a previous offerings that you want to copy over. So you can just adjust the dates over as well. But in this case, I won't be selecting this option. So I will just click import. And it will take some time for the course to be copied over to the new shell. Oh, and also one note is that if you have copied some content over already, and then you found out that you actually copied a wrong course, this could happen actually. So what you will have to do is actually delete everything and then re-import another course, because if you import the second time, it won't replace the previous or existing content within the course, but it will add on to the existing content. So you will have to, best option is to actually delete everything from the course first before you import the second time. Okay, so now you can see that the copy is completed here. So what we can do is go back to the home page and see if we have. Yep, so we already have the starter template in our course here. So you can see that the content is copied over. So not only just the home page, but actually the other content as well, including the syllabus, the modules, and assignments. So remember, we had the option to select specific sections to be copied over. So if you select maybe just the home page or maybe just the modules, then it will only be those sections that will be copied over. And apart from copying the entire course, there's also the option to copy a specific page or maybe a specific item within the course. Let's take this as an example. So let's say this is my previous course, and then I actually wanted to copy just this page to my new course. So what we can do is, so on this item on the far right, there's the 3 dots here. So we can click on this, and then we can select copy to. And then so we will need to type the course name, which is, find it. Okay, let me try to find the name of the course. Yeah, another way is actually copy the code of the course, which is easier for me. So in this case would be, I'll just paste the number here, and then we'll get this course as well. So it will allow me to select the module. So I'll just, let's say I'll just pick module 1. No, maybe just course information, it would be easier. Okay, and then copy. Okay, so that should be copied over to my module. Yeah, so you can see here, there's the land acknowledgement here, which is copied from my other course. So yeah, you can just simply select the item and then copy over to your new course. And yeah, I think that's it for the copy over for content. So back to you for the navigation on Canvas. Eduardo?
Yeah, thank you, Marika. Okay, and by the way, this whole thing of copying courses and copying content, we can actually assist you with that. So if it's something that you would like us to help you with, you can always contact us and we'll do it. So it's something that we usually do like on a day-to-day basis on the back end. So always feel free to reach out. Perfect. So that's how you copy a course. So we've looked at copying the course. We've seen the global navigation. Now let's look at the actual navigation of a course. So by that, I mean these different sections that we see here. So home, syllabus, announcements, and all of that. So we're going to go over some of them, the most important ones, and we're going to explain what you will usually find there and how you can tweak things around. But like I mentioned in the beginning of the session, we're not going to go into a lot of detail, but we're going to have some workshops in the future that will go into much detail, and we'll send you that information so you can sign up. Okay, perfect. So of course, the first thing we're going to be looking at is the homepage. So the homepage is what the students will find as soon as they log in into the course, and the same thing for you. You will log in and you will find this homepage. So the homepage usually, in this case, we already have a template. So that has some information, you know, like a banner and also like welcoming people to the course and information about the instructor maybe, and a couple of help resources. So not a lot of things to do here, really, unless you want to, of course, edit the content. And this applies to everything in Canvas. So may that be a page or an assignment or a quiz or anything. If you want to alter the content, you just have to click on edit. And this will give you a rich text editor. And this is very simple to use. You can go here and you can start changing the content. You can write, you can put images, you can create hyperlinks and the whole thing. So like that, I can type something. And here we have a couple of options to, you know, like the standard things like changing colors if you wanted to do that. Also, we have a link function, so you can link it to an external link. Maybe if you're presenting like some page you want your students to visit. And then, of course, you can change the size of the text and many other things. So I won't go into much detail. You can test that out yourself, and I'm sure you'll find interesting things that you can do. But it's the basic things that you can normally do, like in any rich text editor, you know, like images and files and videos and text, hyperlinks, etc. So that will be the home page. Now, I would like to explore the settings section. So every course has a couple of things that you can set up. And I quickly want to mention things that you might find interesting. So settings, you'll usually find it at the very end of the navigation bar. So it's at the very end here, settings. So here in the settings, you'll find some of information about the course, like the name, the course code. Usually you don't want to change this. You can leave that as it is. But something that is important to know here is, for example, the start and the end date. Usually that is determined by the term. So when UBC creates the courses, they will establish that. But sometimes if you want to extend, let's say, a couple of weeks in a course, you can definitely do that if you go to course, if you change it to course. Okay, so, sometimes this might be required if you're giving like an extension to students at the end of the semester or something like that. And also, yes, Marika?
Sorry, just add on. It's by default, if you don't change anything, the end date will be 8 weeks after the term ends. So it's not the end date of the term, but it's 8 weeks after. So,
oh, perfect. Yes, yes, yes. That's right. Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you, Marika. Okay, also in the let's say if you want to rearrange the navigation bar, maybe you don't want the you want the modules to be the second one and this kind of thing, you can go into the settings where we were and then choose navigation. And here you can rearrange the items in the navigation bar. Now let's see announcements. So announcements is the section where you can create announcements for the students. So if you go to this section and you click on the plus announcement button, you can create announcements that the students will get. And I think that by default, the students will have that enabled, the notification enabled. So most of them, probably all of them, will get an email of this announcement unless they disable that. But like I was mentioning, usually that's set by default, so they will most likely get it. So here you can type something and let them know different things you want them to know throughout the semester. Okay, and oh yes, something that is quite handy as well is to have the announcements showing up in the homepage. You know, because maybe students are logging into the page, into the course, and they are not going to the announcement sections, and maybe they're missing a couple of important announcements. So there's a way of putting the announcements in the homepage. So the way we do that is in the settings section. So to do that, you go to settings. Then you scroll down to the very end, and in description, or after description, you'll see this link here, more options. So if we click that, here we have an options to show the recent announcements on the course homepage. So I think this is enabled by default. Is that right, Marika? It seems, at least in this case, it was. But if it's not showing up, you can go here and you can choose how many announcements will be shown in the homepage, because of course you don't want like 10 announcements, because that will be like too much on the homepage and it can be overwhelming. So we recommend sticking to 3 or maybe 2 or 4. Perfect. So now let's go to the modules. So the modules would be all the content of the course, right? Let's say like your course have 5 modules, you will see all the structure there. So if it's a course that has been already taught and you're getting all the content of the course, you'll find all the content in this module section. So if it had like 5 modules, you'll see there all the 5 modules and all the different information for each module. So the modules are organized, as you can see, like in these boxes, and each box contains different pages. So for example, this one is module 1. And module 1 consists of different pages, right? So this is the first page. And then students can, and you can navigate clicking on this next button here. Okay, so maybe in one case you will find that everything has been done for you because this course has been already offered. But how do you do if you want to create a module and create content, create like pages and assignments and all of that? It's very simple. You just go up here and click on module. So here you'll put a name for the module. I'll put module test, okay? And it will show up now in the module section. And now you can add different things here. So normally we have pages, as you can see, these are pages, right? If we see this is just a page. But in a module, we can also put assignments. Let's say that module 1 is like week 1 of the course, and you want to have some pages where you're putting some content that the students can navigate, but you can also put there an assignment, or maybe you want to put a file that students might want to download, those kind of things. So how do we create content inside of the module? We click here on this plus button, and now we can add things to the modules. So if you click on this list, you'll see the different things that you can add to a module. It can be a file, it can be a page, a discussion, a quiz, and other things. So let's say I'm going to choose a page. Now, page will show me all the pages that already exist in my course if I have been creating pages. But if I'm starting from scratch and I haven't created any page, I can choose create page. And now I can add the item. Oh, I have to pick up the name. Let's say module overview. And there we go. And now it's just a matter of going into the page, and I can start, of course, editing as we saw. And I can create the content here. So that put the text, the images, or wherever you want to share with your students. Let's see what else. Yeah, so something important is, as you can see in this module is not published because it's not visible for students yet. So the way you publish a course, you always, a module, you have to make sure that you have checked this button here. Okay, so if it's not checked, if we don't see that like a green circle with a check, it means that students are not able to see it yet. But once you check it, students will see it. And this can be useful because maybe you might be working on a page, but you don't want students to see it yet as you're working on it. So you can unpublish that. And once it's ready, you can publish it. By the way, speaking of publishing, this is something I forgot to mention. In the home page, you at some point you want to publish the course, right? Because the course will be unpublished in the beginning, because maybe you're working on a couple of adjustments and things like that. So the way you publish a course, you go to the home page and you click on this publish button here on the right. So once I do that, the course is now published and students can access that. And if you want to unpublish the course, the same thing. We just go here and we click on unpublish.
Oh, we have a question from Brooke.
Oh, yeah.
Once a course is published, can you make any changes afterwards?
Definitely, you can make changes on the go. So the course might be published and you are still creating content in the modules. So let's say that I'm working on the course, my course has been published, the students can see it, but I'm creating maybe like a new section in the modules page. So I could be creating the things here, but I just have that unpublished. So yes, definitely, you can still create things as when the course is published, for sure. Okay, and then, so we looked at discussions, we looked at modules. Now let's look at discussions. So discussions is the different discussions that you can create in your course. You know, it can be a discussion of a specific topic or things you want students to engage with in a conversation. So the way to create a discussion, we go to the discussion section, and now we click on this discussion button. As you can see, Canvas is really easy to use. You know, it's just a matter of going to each section and then just clicking on the create button. And now we can create the discussion. So let's say this is a discussion for module 1. Okay, let's imagine that module 1 had a couple of pages explaining a couple of concepts, and then we have a discussion so students can have a conversation about the concepts that they learned. So it's the same thing here. We give it a title, and then here we will normally put the instructions, you know, or a question maybe. Okay, so you can put that there. You can also add images and different types of content. And finally, we can we have a couple of options here. For example, this might be a graded discussion. Maybe it's part of the assessment, so you can select that option. Allowing replies, so students can respond to the different discussion posts that their peers are putting here. And then other features such as users must post before seeing replies. This is more of like complex. Usually we don't use that as much, but we have those possibilities. So I would say maybe the two most important thing here is the first one, like allowing replies and making it graded. Perfect. Now that I have discussion one, let's say that I want to put this here, this discussion in the modules, in the module that I just created. Because the students so far, they only would be able to find the discussions if they go to the discussion section, right? They click here and here they can see all the discussions. But normally students will be navigating through the modules page, right? They'll be seeing all the different modules and navigating through the course content. So let's say in my module test, I want to put the discussion here. How would I do that? It's the same thing. So we go to the plus button, and this time we can choose, instead of page, as we did before, we can choose discussion. And once we choose discussion, we could create a discussion from scratch, like we did. But we have already created the one, so we can just click here on discussion module 1. We can add the item, and there we go. There it is. Now just making sure that it's all published so students can see it. And by the way, if at some point you want to see how the course is looking from a student's perspective, you can always go up here and click on student view. So this will show you how students see the course. So let's say right now, as you can see, this second one is not published. So let's go to student view. And as you can see, they're not able to see that. So this is a good way also of checking how things are looking for students. And if you want to quit this student view, you just click here on leave student view, right below here.
There's a question from Amanda.
Yep.
Asking, do you have to manually click publish or unpublish yourself, or can you set a time for it to publish? For instance, is there a way to auto set each module to publish once the prior week's class is complete?
That's a great question. So recently, there's a new feature in Canvas that allows you to select when a page is going to be published. So that's something that just came out, and you can do that. And also, of course, like assignments, when you create an assignment, and Marika is going to show us that soon, you can also set a date when it's published or visible for students. But in regards to modules, we cannot set a publish date yet. Maybe that will come up soon, but we can definitely do it for pages. So I think if we go to pages, let's just go to one of the pages, for example, this one. And if we go to the settings, if you want to go to the settings, you click on edit. And here, you see it here below, down here. Okay, so we can why is it not allowing me to change it?
Maybe because it's published.
Maybe. Oh yeah, that makes sense. So I think yeah, it will need to be unpublished first, and then this option will be available for you. So now in here you can pick a date, right? So yeah, let's quickly do that. So if we go to an unpublished page, for example, this one, let's unpublish that. Now we can go in, we can go to edit, and if we go down here, oh no, it's not there.
I think it's published right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me just. Oh yeah, thank you. No. No. There we go. Right. So now that it's unpublished, you can go in and change the publish date. Let's say we want to publish that tomorrow, so we can choose it here. Okay, let's move forward. So now Marika is going to show you some more of these sections. We're going to be looking at assignment, quizzes, and grade.
Yep. Okay. Okay, so okay. So we can, after knowing how to create different modules, we can create assignments that we can also include within the module as well. But we have a assignment tab here on the left. So click on it, and we can create assignments from here. So we do have some sample assignments here, but we can go through them together. So basically, there is the assignment and also the assignment group. So this gray tab here is the assignment group. So the assignments underneath, I mean the items underneath are individual assignments. So we can, let's say we click on this add button to create a new assignment. Okay, so we can type in the assignment name, and then you can create, input the assignment instruction here in the rich text editor. And then you can also assign the points for each individual assignment. And as I mentioned, there can be assignment groups, which is very helpful when you are doing your gradings. And then there's we can display the grade as points, percentage, complete or incomplete. So you can pick the options. And there's also the submission type, which can be no submission, online, on paper, or external tool. So it depends on whether you want the way that you want the students to submit their work. And there's also, when you select online, these are the options that you can pick for students to submit their work. So usually we will have like text entry and then also file uploads. So for file uploads, you can also restrict the types of files to be submitted as well. And then there's also the attempts allowed. You can pick limited or unlimited, so you can adjust the number of attempts for submissions. And it can also be a group assignment or a peer reviews assignment as well. So these are the options that you have to pick if you would like them to be the group assignment or peer reviews assignment. And then here is who or when you will have this assignments to be assigned to the students. So usually it will be for everyone, and then the due date would be the deadline for handing in the assignment. So you can pick a date, let's say next Friday, and then the available date and the end date would be the time frame that students can submit their work. So let's say we can have this from the start of the term, which is the 9th of January. And then if you allow late submission, you can actually set the end date to be later than the due date, let's say 20. So you can, so that means you allow late submission in this case. So if you don't allow late submission, then that should be the same as the due date that you set here. And then so after you make all the settings, you can hit save, or if you haven't published the assignment, you can click save and publish. Oops, I will need to type something here. So let's say Word document. Okay, so save. Okay, so this is how the assignment is created. And then back to the assignment page. We can also create multiple groups. So let's say I want a assignment group called review. There, so this is another assignment group. And for grouping, it is useful when you have the grading weight. On this top right-hand side, 3 dots icon here, assignment settings, click on it, and then there's the assignment groups weights. So click on it, and then there's the option to weight the final grade based on assignment groups. So let's say the assignment is 70% of the grade, while the review are take up 30%. So it will add up to 100%. So we can save. And then this is how you weight the assignment groups accordingly. And yeah, so you can also see the percentage here next to the assignment group name. Okay, and then yes, so you can also add discussion, quiz, or something that is not graded for the assignment as well. So you can create the discussion in the discussion section and the quiz, which I will talk about later. So you can also add them to the assignment, so they're all grouped or organized in the same place that students can easily find them. Okay, so any questions on the assignment so far? If not, I'm going to move on quizzes. So quizzes is also should be on the course navigation menu on the left. So we have some surveys examples here, and then we will, let's say, create a new quiz as well. So we have, so by clicking the plus sign here, we will create a new quiz. So we have 2 types of quizzes. So we usually use the classic quizzes. The new quizzes has more functionalities, but it has more complications when creating them. So we usually just stick with the classic quizzes, but you feel free to explore the new quizzes as well. So I will just try to do a demo on the classic quiz. So similar to the assignment, you basically just type in the name of the quiz. Let's say quiz 1. And then here you can put in the instructions for the quiz. And here you can select the type for quiz. So we have graded quiz, practice quiz, graded survey, and ungraded survey. And then the assignment group, as we created just now, you can place them accordingly into the assignment group. And then there's also the options to shuffle answers and then time limit for the quiz. And also you can allow multiple attempts. And there are many more different options that we will actually go through them in our later workshop that focus on assignments and gradings and quizzes for on Canvas. And similar to the assignment, we have the assign section here. So you can pick who to be assigned for, and then the due date and availability date. And yeah, and then so different from the assignment, we have the questions set here. So if it's a quiz, then there should be questions for the quiz. So you can just add questions here. And then also create question groups. So you can type in the questions here, and then you can pick the type of questions. So there are multiple options here. And then, yeah, you can just put in the answer for the multiple choice and then hit save. Okay, and that's how you create quizzes. And then, okay, so then we will take a look at the Gradebook as well. So Gradebook is the grades on the navigation menu. So here, you will see all the assignments or discussions and quiz will be listed on the Gradebook. So it will only list all the published. You will only be able to input grades for the published assignments, quizzes, or discussions. And then there should be, in your course, the student name will be on the left. So each row represents the grades for each student. And then one important setting on the Gradebook here is when you click on the top right-hand corner, there's the gear icon here. So one important thing to set is the grade posting policy. So we have two options. One is automatically post grades, and the other is manually post grades. Automatically post grades means once you enter the grade for the students, it will be automatically posted to the students' Canvas shell. And so if you want all students to get their grades at the same time, it's better for you to pick the manually post grades so that they can receive their grades all at the same time. So once you pick the option, just hit apply settings here on the bottom right corner. Okay, and if, for example, if you want a specific assignment to be posted to have a different policy, let's say you want this assignment to be posted manually or maybe automatically, then you can just click here and save. So it will overwrite the overall policy setting for your gradebook. So this particular assignment will be automatically posting the grades once you enter the grade to the gradebook. And I think that's about it for the gradebook. And as I mentioned, we will have more specific workshop on Canvas assignments, quizzes, and gradebook. So yeah, feel free to join that in our later workshop.
Yeah, Marika, maybe just explain how do we post the grades, like manually. Once we have the grades, how do we post them so students see them?
Oh, yes, that's a good point. So let's say the students got 5 points for this. And so if we have set this to, oh, this is automatic. So let's say I put this as the manual. So you can see that here it's listed as manual. So once I enter the grade, because I already entered it. So let's say like this. So I will enter this and then, oh, because I've already entered, okay, let's say,
Yeah, that's fine. Like really,
yeah.
once
so
you have posted, yeah.
So once you have the grade posted, it will actually have the option for here that allows you to post grades. But since I've already posted the grades, so that's why this kind of is grayed out saying all grades posted. But if you have it set to be manually posted, then you should be able to find this post grades when you click on this 3 dots icon here for the assignment.
Yeah, perfect. So once you have, let's say you have 20 students, if you have the grades for all the students, all you have to do is go to that column, click on those options, that 3 dots, and then you choose post grades. And that's when all of them will get the grades.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Marika. So yeah, so I know all of this is very simple, but it's actually quite a bit, right? So don't worry if something is you might forget once you start trying all these different features, but know that you can always contact us and we can actually help you with all of this. We can help you setting up assignments and setting up quizzes or helping you with any questions that you might have regarding the gradebook or anything. So we'll share our email by the end of this meeting. So we're almost done. Let's just quickly, we will ask you to do the survey. So it's going to take like 3 minutes. It's very quick. I think it's like 3 questions. And then we can go to the questions and answers section. Okay, so I'm going to share right now the link. And I would ask you to please complete that. It's now in the chat. And then we can move on to the questions and answers. So I'll wait 2 minutes and we can continue. Okay, perfect. So thank you for helping us with that. Now we have just a couple of minutes, but we can actually stay longer if someone has to leave. Thank you so much for coming to the workshop. But now we're going to move on to the questions and answers. Before you leave, and if someone is leaving, make sure you check out our website so you know about the workshops, our upcoming workshops we'll be offering. So like Marika said, we have one that is going to focus more in depth about assignments, Gradebook, and SpeedGrader. And we'll also be exploring web accessibility and these kind of topics. Okay, so you can always go to our website. That's ets.educ.ubc.ca and find out more about that. Okay, let's go into the questions and answers. Any questions? Let's see here. Yeah, you can reach out to us. So if you write to our email, Marika, maybe you can share the link there of our email address. And this is a email that all the learning technologists at ETS will be accessing. So we will get your question there, and either Marika or I or another LT will be able to help you with any questions you might have. Great question. Yeah. So Brooke is asking if there's a way that grades can be exported to the Faculty Service Center. So this is good because when we have the grades in Canvas, of course, this is not the official release of the date. Then we have to go into Faculty Service Center and put the grades there. So there's no current integration between these two. Okay. So unfortunately, what we have to do is just input all the grades. Once we have like the total grading Canvas, we have to take note of those, or we can actually export them as a Excel file, and then we have to manually put those grades into FSC. Any more questions? Nope. Okay. Perfect. So maybe as you explore Canvas, you will have some more questions, but always you can reach out and we'll be happy to help you with that. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. We hope this was useful and we're wishing you the best in this semester.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye.